Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us today as we review the financial aid processes for the CVC Exchange. My name is Mackenzie Johnson, and I am the platform manager and support supervisor for the CVC Exchange. So as we go through some of these processes, I'll definitely share more behind the scenes workflows as we've discussed, but also some support resources that you may or may not be aware of for your college as you look at these financial aid processes. Again, as a reminder, feel free to add questions to the chat or to the Q&A as we go through, and then we will follow up with your teams at the end of this recording or in the future offline as well. So for our topics today, the first thing that we are going to review is the student journey workflow. This is actually a really great diagram that, while you may not need to actually understand everything about it, it does kind of give an understanding as to where students are coming into that financial aid process for the exchange. Next, we're going to move into the administrator dashboard and review a couple of different components there, the financial aid requests, but as well as the student enrollments and where you can view payment and financial aid requests in a different location, which some of you may or may not be aware of, and we're just going to review as well. And then actually getting into that financial aid information and workflow. So there is current financial aid information that we have available to colleges and students and current processes that are taking place at those colleges. But we also have this new workflow that we've been implementing at colleges. So we'll go through that and then be able to answer support and questions as well. So diving right into the student journey workflow, this is essentially where students are coming from the exchange all the way from the course search, step A, all the way to step E, which is that payment. So that could be CCPG, the request of financial aid, or paying that fee or tuition directly through the exchange. So really where we are focusing, again, is that requesting financial aid, which is the process that students currently have. They are currently requesting that financial aid with your college, and you're receiving a notification if you are currently implemented as a home college on the CVC Exchange. Now, what we have is a different workflow, which your college can decide to turn on, which we will review together. But this is, again, just that overview of the student journey as it exists right now. Okay, jumping right in to that administrator dashboard, we are going to go into our test environment to view these different sections where you can view this payment status, financial aid requests. But really, when we dive into the financial aid requests, we're going to review videos that our team has already created to review the counselor role and the financial aid director role, which we'll get into those more in just a moment. But those are going to be the steps in going through these components for the admin dashboard. So I will navigate in here. This is our test environment. You can still see all of the same options here for us to be able to navigate through. For those of you that are new to, again, the CVC Exchange or to this process, or maybe you're new to your financial aid teams, this is something that we can give you access to, the actual admin dashboard, not necessarily our test environment, but so you can go in and see these enrollments, see some of these things going on through the exchange. And then depending on your role in the financial aid, which we will get to, we'll make sure that you have the assigned attribute to your admin account so you can access what you need to approve or deny requests, which we'll get into in just a moment. So first, as I mentioned, we are going to be reviewing this enrollments tab. This is where we can see students that are enrolling in any status across the exchange. Again, we are in test, so this is all fake student data that we are seeing below here. But this enrollment details report allows you to filter for students at your college by a specific term who are enrolled, but then maybe have a specific payment status or have requested financial aid. Again, the financial aid request workflow and that process is a little bit different. We're going to review that in a moment. But this is a great way, for example, for your admissions teams, for your counselors, for folks to go in and see and pull reports of students who may be in those statuses that you'd like to review. So for example, let's say we're looking at students for summer. I know a college that we happen to have some test students for. And we want to see the students that are validated and registered. That's the final registration status for students that have a successful registration and approvals. So if we filter, we see there are 9 students, again, are fake students. But I actually am curious which of these students potentially have paid or requested financial aid. And then I can download that report, filter those students, and share amongst my team as needed. And that's actually found under this other filter section here, where we can say, okay, what is the student payment status, which may or may not be your role with financial aid, but still could be helpful information. So again, the tooltip here will show you those statuses, what they mean, but the ultimate confirmed status, final paid status, excuse me, is confirmed in teaching college. So we would want to see which maybe, students have completed that payment process of these 9 enrollments. We are in our test environment, so none of these students have paid. I can tell you that right now, but if we run the filter, you will see zero records to display there. Similar with financial aid, you could also, of those 9 students, see which students have requested financial aid. Again, we're in test, so that's not going to be any of these students selected here. However, if we did have students that had selected financial aid, you would also see a badge here show up on the student record that said requested financial aid, and then you'd be able to filter, download the CSV. You actually don't even, if you prefer to just see all of your students for specific terms, regardless of their registration, payment, financial aid status, you can absolutely just pull a general report, download it, and then filter from there. A lot of folks prefer that method as well. So that's a quick dive into that enrollments tab, that enrollments report, and how you can get some of that student information for your college as you're working through some of these financial aid processes. So moving back to our actual dashboard here, the next piece that we were going to review is the financial aid requests, as I mentioned. For this, you do need to have a counselor or financial aid director role assigned to you in the exchange. This will allow you to go in and approve or deny the request that we're about to review together. So that is what your account, your exchange account would need to have. And our team can help you with that, with the accounts process, setting up the right notifications, the right workflows. So you can reach out to our team and we'll send all of those resources here at the end of this training. All right, so moving into our actual financial aid information and workflow, the bulk of this training today. First, I want to showcase what we are showing to both students and admins regarding financial aid for the exchange. Excuse me. And you can actually find that on our website here, which is cvc.edu. And there's a tab right across the top that says financial aid. And this is all of the information that we're providing to students. Essentially, what we are telling them is to work with their home college to be eligible. So you can read more information here. You're welcome to direct students to this page as well. Ultimately, though, our team cannot assist with the financial aid requests, as you're aware. So we are going to find the home college contact, website, admissions and records folks to connect to financial aid to send those students to get those students connected to the right people at their home college. This is a great resource. And again, this is one that we will share at the end of this presentation and training. Next is the financial aid workflow that as a home college, many of you have already decided to turn on and be integrated with in this new workflow of approval and denial of students right through the exchange. But many home colleges are still learning about this or waiting maybe until that fall semester to turn it on. And so we thought it would be a good idea to review what that workflow is, what the roles are that are needed, and then some of those resources. The primary focus of today, though, is to make sure we have plenty of time for questions. So as we go through this information, it may be new, it may be review, but again, our team is here to kind of respond to those questions and then see if there's anything we can do to help improve both communication and notifications for these workflows. So diving in, this is a resource that we will share with your teams, the financial aid workflow along here. Also on the left, you'll see there's lots of other resources here for CVC Exchange colleges. So you may have attended other trainings with us earlier this week where we reviewed some of those. You will have access to see those as well. For specifically financial aid, we do divide that into 2 components, the counselor input and the financial aid staff. So really quick, as I mentioned I mentioned the term counselor, there is a little bit of confusion about, I'm not specifically a counselor role, but I do transcript evaluation or course evaluation or academic plan evaluation for my students to determine what courses are eligible for them in their progress. So we say counselor, that's how that role is defined on the exchange, but it's whatever that means to your college. And we can assign anyone at your role to the counselor role as well as the financial aid director role. It's kind of whatever integration you want to set up with our exchange platform. So when we say counselor, that's the first step. And that what we will do is first review this decision tree, which is the same for both counselors and financial aid staff. But then we're going to review these videos that our team has of both the counselor role and what that looks like in approval or denial of a student, and then what that looks like with the financial aid staff, which would be that final approval of financial aid for the student. So diving into our workflow or decision tree, zoom in a little bit more. We start over here at this side. I won't read all of these to you, but this is going to be available to you. So as you're deciding how your home college either already is using this workflow or would like to be using this workflow, you can see really what are the points in time where we would say, maybe you would consider denying this student at this point, or here's where it would continue on for approval from that financial aid director, or final approval to enter those units into the financial aid award for the student. So again, this is going to be available for all of the attendees here today, as well as on our CVC websites. You can see it's color coded between those two counselor and financial aid director roles. But if anyone has any questions or follow up about this, we're happy to review that today as well. So now what I'd like to dive into, as I mentioned, are the videos. So the first video we're going to watch, and I want to make sure we've got our volume and everything set correctly so we can actually hear the narration of these videos. But what we're going to do is just walk through them. They're only about 2-3 minutes long each. And then that gives us time to talk about those components. And then, like I said, plenty of time for questions. So I may have to reshare my screen. Let me do that just to make sure everyone has volume. There we go. All right, let's dive into the counselor. Let's make sure it works. Oh, let's try again. My apologies. Hello, and welcome to the quick overview training for financial aid requests as a counselor at your college for the CVC Exchange. In this short video, we will review how you can approve or deny financial aid requests from students and how these requests will then move on to your financial aid director for final approval. To get started, log into your CVC Exchange admin account, and then to access the financial aid request dashboard, you will need to have been assigned a counselor role at your college. Once you have that permission, you can access the dashboard by clicking financial aid requests. This is in our staging environment, but your production environment will look similar. Once in the dashboard, you can search by student, the home university, term, or status, or all of the above. Ultimately, as a counselor, you will want to search by the requested status. That will show you the list of students that have requested financial aid that you need to review. I have a test student from Napa Valley College that I have put into staging so we can see what that process looks like. And if you see here at the bottom, we have a whole list of students from Napa Valley College who have requested financial aid. And since I have counselor permissions for Napa Valley College in our staging environment, I can review these requests. So if we were to review these requests, you will see the student information here at the top. You will also see potential transfer information for the course underneath the census date. This is not pulled in staging, but it will be pulled into your production environment. However, ultimately, what you are wanting to do is at the bottom of the page where it says Financial Aid Request Counselor Review. What you will want to select is either yes or no to answer the question of if this course meets the student's program of study. You will also want to leave the appropriate comments so anyone else that reviews this request will know why you reached that decision. And then once you click submit, this student will move into either a counselor approved status or a counselor denied status, which your financial aid director will then review. The student will only receive a notification after the financial aid director approves or denies the request as the final step. But that's it. So please let us know if you have any other questions by emailing support@cvc.edu, and have a great day. All right. Hopefully, we had volume on that. I didn't see any questions come in or chats come in saying that we didn't have volume for that video. Oh, I do see a raised hand. So please let me know in the chat or through that Q&A if there was not sound on that video, but we will answer questions about the content of that as well. So these videos will be available. Oh, I do see a chat. Let's make sure. Oh, thank you. Audio is good. Thank you for that confirmation. Appreciate that. All right, let's move into the financial aid director component video, which we have here. Let me refresh that as we start. Okay. Hello, and welcome to the quick overview training for financial aid requests as a financial aid director at your college for the CVC Exchange. In this short video, we will show you how you can approve or deny financial aid requests that your counselors have reviewed. To get started, log into your CVC Exchange admin account as shown here. Next, you can view the financial aid request for your college by clicking on Financial Aid Requests. This is our staging environment, but this will mimic your production environment. So once in the dashboard, you can search by a specific student, your home university, the term, or status. The two statuses that you want to be concerned with are counselor approved and counselor denied. Those will show you all of the requests that you next need to review. As an example student, I will show you Napa Valley College and a student who has been counselor approved, which we can see here. So when we review the request, you will see the student information here at the top, as well as potential course transfer information underneath the course census date. However, ultimately, what you are wanting to do is here at the bottom of the page, you will see that the counselor in staging has approved this course. It meets a program of study, and they left approved comments. Your next step is to look at the financial aid request review and either approve or deny the request and leave your appropriate comments. Comments will be emailed and viewable to the student on their student dashboard. So once you click submit, that student will be notified, and that's it. So please let us know if you have any other questions about this new financial aid process by emailing support@cvc.edu, and have a great rest of your day. Excuse me. All right. So those were our two videos that showcase, oh, sorry, let's go back to our workflow pages here. Those were our two videos that showcase the quick counselor and financial aid approvals through the CVC Exchange. There are obviously steps just like before that you still need to complete in your SIS to actually, enter those award credits as a home college. But what this is doing is providing visibility not only to the college throughout your team and giving an approval workflow, but it's giving more visibility to the student as well. It's setting them up, I think, a little bit more for success in registering for courses that are a part of that academic plan. However, it is also giving them visibility into either why they were denied or approved for that financial aid, which can help them make decisions about other courses and things on the CVC Exchange. So these, again, a great location to showcase these videos, as well as that decision tree we reviewed. If you're someone that doesn't prefer to watch videos, you've had enough of my voice, you can also click on the actual just documentation that we have and view the screenshots as well. We have those available on the same page, so feel free to explore those. Moving on really quickly, I want to highlight our support resources, and then we will be right at about a time where I want to give plenty of time for questions to actually dive into some of this information. And right on time, we have Mike Vogt. So Mike, we're just going to review support really quickly and then dive into questions that folks have. So for our administrator support for the CVC Exchange, I do want to go through these just one by one here. For those of you that have not bookmarked our homepage, I do recommend you do so. Our homepage, again, is where we found that financial aid information that you can share with students and other members of your team. But it also has great resources for students as well as you as educators. So again, I cannot emphasize our homepage enough, so please be sure to explore that. The admin login for the CVC Exchange is a link I wanted to share because that is different than the student login. This is what the Exchange administrator login looks like. And then I'll share that student link in just a moment and show what that student should be seeing. Here's that documentation page where all that good financial aid information lived. Whoops, sorry about that. This one here. All that good information here on the left is also linked down here below. There's that financial aid workflow. But also, if you're just curious about tasks as a home college, as a teaching college, and what other things are involved within those workflows that we reviewed right at the beginning, this is the place that you can do that. We also, excuse me, have a Fresh Desks support instance. So you're welcome to explore that. You can access that from our homepage, but you can also access that directly from this link. We have guides for students, FAQs as well, and then you can submit tickets, like I said. Finally, the big one though, many of you are already aware of this. You see this really all over our guides and our websites, but you can reach out to our team directly at support@cvc.edu. This is managed through our ticket system, but you are contacting our team directly. So be sure to reach out with any questions, account access issues, or anything that you want to discuss. And that's a great place to get a hold of our team to get that directed to the right folks. Really quickly highlighting that student support, which is a little bit different, except homepage is still a key one there for us. But there's the student login and what it should look like for them. They are going to be selecting their home college and then authenticating through their home college login. So again, different than what that admin sign in did look like. For those of you that haven't seen this, for those students that don't have a home college, they are directed to CCC Apply, which you can see here on the right. And then finally, I wanted to share that while students have access to our Fresh Desk service and can contact our team directly by opening tickets or emailing our support team, they also have access to the Parchment support team that supports that is our vendor that supports course sharing, our course sharing platform. So they can reach out directly to their support team with chat, phone, as well as this email, so that the students have plenty of opportunity to get that instant support. But they are also welcome to reach out to our team, and we can assist as well. All right, like I promised, plenty of time for questions or to dive back into some of the resources that we shared. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a moment. And I want to introduce, for those of you who already know him, but we do have Mike Vogt here with us here to answer some of your questions. So we can dive right into that. But Mike, is there anything that you want to highlight or jump off with right to start?
No. Unfortunately, since I joined late, I don't think I can see like chat or Q&A from before I joined. So we'll just have to
Okay.
read off the questions, unfortunately.
No worries. Nope, I don't have any sitting out in a Q&A. I do see someone has a raised hand. Um, Ming Lee, let me see if I can allow you to talk.
Yep.
I think talking is permitted. If you do have your hand raised, you're welcome to ask your question. I will also end the recording as well, so we can dive into our questions.